All right, guys. So I'm back. You're back. It's your host, Chandra, for the IDK cast. We got a couple things to talk about, and we got a brand new cover story. You won't even be able to guess what it is. It's something a little bit about the WNBA. All right, guys. So I hope you stay tuned. I hope you're excited because I'm excited. This is episode 11. By the way, wanted to throw that out there, and we are close to an ultimate total of 100 overall downloads. I know it's been a slow grind, but it's a grind that I enjoy with you guys. Hopefully we can get all the way up to that 100, and I'm thinking about doing a giveaway when we get to that 100 downloads overall. So let's just start off real quick. We're going to talk about some of the things that's been going on in the NFL free agency, and there has been quite a lot of movement going on, a lot of people moving, actually. You think this year a lot of people would be resigning, but it's actually a whole lot of movement, a lot of people going different places. So one great example of is Austin Hooper moving to the Browns. Guys, don't even get me started with the Cleveland Browns. It's just a complete hot mess over there. One of the biggest problems that they have is that they do stuff like this, because they were doing stuff like this last season where they were constantly building up buffing the offense. And honestly, it's a complete waste of money, because I feel like this is almost the equivalent of giving a baby like a Ferrari, because it's a fantastic tool, right? But it's a waste of money because you're giving it to a baby, like an inexperienced, untrained person. And that's what I feel that, Mayfield is bringing. He is just not the quarterback that they need. In the end of the day, he is not the quarterback that they need, because they had all these great receivers, all these great offensive linemen, all this great defense, and then how can you win a game if you have great offense, great defense, but you don't have a good quarterback? They need to get rid of Mayfield, and that is the move that they should have done this free agency. Free agency is still going on, so hopefully that's the move that they're going to make. But honestly, at the end of the day, whatever affinities that they have for him aside, he is not a good quarterback. He is not a solid quarterback. He's like a small franchise quarterback, and they're trying to be big. They're trying to win something, more than 5 games this year, hopefully. So he needs to leave or play second fiddle with them, or second fiddle somewhere else, because he's not a good quarterback. He is completely inconsistent, and it's going to drag them down. And I think that if they don't get rid of him this time around, they're definitely going to get rid of him next time around, because they're going to realize that, we keep stacking the deck for you, but you're not stepping up. And he might be leading them on and telling them, yeah, you guys, I just need better receivers. I just need better this, I need better that, in order to really perform. And, next season come around and he's not performing. That's exactly what I think is going to happen, guys. So stay tuned to that. That's my official prediction. Put it on me. Timestamp it. My official prediction is that Baker Mayfield is not going to be a quarterback for the Cleveland Browns much longer. In fact, there's an opening for the quarterback position, in Cleveland, that I think is going to be opening up. And I think I know just the guy who can take it. His name is Cameron Newton, because he's been officially released as of Tuesday, which is yesterday for this recording. So, guys, I definitely said last episode, like, they were going to get rid of Cam. They've been thinking about getting rid of Cam. They've probably been finalizing this movement for quite some time now. It's not a surprise. Like I said, after his 2016 year, things just weren't the same. Albeit the injuries, albeit, his own inconsistencies. So he just wasn't the same quarterback. He definitely needs to start someplace where they're going to have the time for that. But the thing is, Carolina already has a lot of pieces in place. And now that they're moving a lot of people around and they're getting new people, they just got PJ Walker, which we're going to discuss in a little bit. Now that they're getting all these people, and it's obvious they're trying to do like this rebuild, bring in like newer, fresher talent and stuff like that, it was becoming more and more obvious that Cam was going to have to go. It's unfortunate, but it's a necessity. You know what I mean? He was just becoming a little bit of a Joe Flacco. And I see there's a lot of hate for what the Panthers did, getting rid of Cam Newton, on like social media and stuff like that. Honestly, part of me is like, I don't pay attention to that because a lot of these same people were saying just last year during the season to get rid of Cam Newton or start Kyle Allen or get rid of both Kyle Allen and Cam Newton. So I'm not paying attention to those keyboard warriors for that fact. And on top of that, it's just he's not the same guy, y'all. I mean, we can keep on saying for nostalgia reasons, for, you know, the fact that he brings the crowds, but at the same time, when are we going to decide we want to win? So that's a decision that they made. Again, allegedly, Cam Newton says that they forced him into this position. It's not that Cam Newton wanted to go. I can't confirm whether or not that's definitely true for a fact, because we all know that Cam can be a bit of a drama queen and over dramatize things, but it's also not unusual for NFL teams to do, even like, you know, their star franchise players like that, because at the end of the day in the NFL, players do not have the same amount of weight as they do in like other sports like the NBA. So I just think that, you know, if it was that was the case, then of course, you know, you guys could have did it a little bit better. The guy has become the face of your franchise for the past, like, 5-6 years, because he was drafted in 2011, so past almost 10 years. If he didn't do it, you know, who cares? Also, I just think that would be a good fit for him. Allegedly, his foot is doing better. He had the shoulder surgery, so that should all help. And he'll be with a young, fresh team, mostly young guys on there. I think probably the oldest person offensively is maybe Odell. So I think that would be a pretty good fit if the Cleveland Browns get him. I also think that possibly Jacksonville, since they just handed away Nick Foles, they can grab Cam Newton for the cheap. But however, Cam is going to be sitting in a kind of a stasis right now because of the whole COVID-19 thing. Nobody's really trying to test people, and nobody wants other people to travel because that increases the risk of him possibly getting exposed to the virus. So he's gonna be sitting in a little bit of a weird purgatory state for right now. I mean, I do feel a little bit bad for him that they didn't release him a little bit earlier in the season if this was the case, like I said. However, I think that they didn't foresee, obviously, no one except for people in the government really foresaw COVID-19 coming. So, you know, you have to make do with what it is, you know, so it is what it is. Also, up on the agenda today, we're going to talk about that new Rams logo, and boy, oh boy, it's quite a looker. It's actually up on our Twitter account. Make sure that you follow us on Twitter at IDK_cast, and you can see all of our topics that we talk about. Like I said, last episode, we were talking about my first favorite NBA team. I left a comment up there. A couple people commenting about it, so definitely follow us on there. That's probably your number one news source because, again, we're a weekly podcast. We only release episodes once a week. So anything that we're thinking about doing in the meantime, between time, that's where you want to be to find out first. If we're going to do giveaways and stuff like that, you ought to head to our Twitter account. So make sure that you give us a quick follow on there. Like I said, we posted that Rams logo, and it's just ugly, guys. I can't even lie to you. It's quite ugly. It's this almost... It's like this really bright mustard yellow mixed with this dark blue, and I know it's supposed to be some type of an homage to the older St. Louis Rams uniform, but it's just ugly. Like, it's ugly. Those colors just don't match well, and then the logo, it doesn't look right. Especially like that shorthand logo they have for it now, where they got the A has the ram horn. It doesn't look right. Personally speaking, whoever the graphic designer for that was, they would have been fired the minute that they thought that was acceptable to bring to me. But, you know, they okayed it, and they think that it's a good look. So, all you Rams fans out there, you know, Tell me what you guys feel about that new logo. I know you guys are not exactly happy about it because I don't really think I saw anybody that was pretty happy about that new logo. Next up, we got the LA Clippers finally developing their own stadium. God knows how long they've been sharing the stadium, the Staples Center, with the Lakers. I know it's been quite some time because they were sharing it even when I was a child. So it's been some time, at least 20 years plus. So I think that this is actually a pretty good financial move for them, in the sense that there has always been this shadow over the Clippers. It's like they're not the Lakers. Like, they're not the Lakers, guys. Like, they're the second cousin that you really don't want around, but they're there anyway. So I think that this will be good for the Clippers in the way that they'll be able to really develop their own fan base and not be so hindered by the idea of, the Battle of Los Angeles, the battle of the two teams in one stadium kind of thing. So I think it'll give them a real chance to build their own community, build within the community that they're going to be in, build their own fan base. I would like to see what the new Clippers Stadium is going to look like. Obviously, the stadium is technically already built, but they're going to be renovating it. So I think that that's probably going to take maybe like 1 or 2 seasons for that to really come together. So we're going to see what that looks like. Last up on the agenda, it's going to be kind of short because I don't feel like it's completely necessary to go over every single trade, every single resign, every single thing. You guys know, for the most part, Cincinnati has been basically rebuilding from the top down. They say that they're not going to get rid of Andy Dalton so far. I don't think that that's going to stay that way. Obviously, Joe Burrow is going to be starting for them, so maybe Andy Dalton will be there as some sort of like an NFL mentor, get him acclimated to the place. Personally speaking, I wouldn't want an acclamation from a loser. I'm sorry, like Andy Dalton. I mean, I know he's put his work in, he's put his time in for the NFL. He knows what he's talking about in some ways, but he hasn't had any reasonable amount of success with the Cincinnati Bengals. So in that case, I really wouldn't want to get advice from him. But, they may keep him around for just keeping together their fan base sake, because a lot of people, they really enjoy Andy Dalton, and he has become the face of the franchise for the Cincinnati Bengals. So he may be playing second fiddle. I think what they're probably going to do is something in the preseason towards where they may have Dalton playing like the first 2 games and then have Burrow play like the second 2 games, the last 2 games as starters. So they're going to switch between starter, or they're just going to do the traditional. Andy's going to do the first half, Burrow's going to do the last half. And they're going to try to develop Burrow as a starter, and then probably sometime towards the middle of the year, he's going to be a starter if they don't start him out right out of the gate. I think it would be wiser to start him out of the gate. That way you can get those less critical games. Don't get me wrong, in the NFL, every game really does count. However, you let him start maybe the first 5 games. Something a little less critical, something, you can stand to lose possibly the first 5 games, or maybe the first 4 games, or any combination like that, versus just letting Andy run the first half, and then the critical part is the second half of the NFL, and then you're leaving that up to Joe Burrow, potentially make or breaking a playoff run. So that's just my feel on it. Jacksonville, who knows what they're doing? They just lost somebody else. I think the Bears have been pretty quiet so far. Of course, I said the Browns, they're just trying to rebuild their offense. The Panthers as well, also rebuilding themselves. So, there's a lot of teams trying to do a rebuild. I think that they saw what happened with the advent of these new fresh guys, Lamar Jackson, Mahomes, and also Jimmy G, and they're seeing that, the newer quarterbacks, they're more ready than we thought that they were before, and a lot of these veteran guys are going to be phasing out now, which is why I was very surprised about the whole Drew Brees thing, where he was like, yeah, I'm going to give him another season, guys. I was like, man, I believe he was out on injury for quite some time, and that's when Teddy Bridgewater got his time to shine. So he may be one of the few guys that stay around. I think it's just going to be him and Brady. I think Brady's not going to be with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that long. Maybe 3 or 4 seasons, just so they can get a nice head start. I don't think they're going to be winning anything substantial, but the So definitely a lot of very interesting things are happening within the NFL. But I just don't, it's a whole lot going on. But at the same time, we got to keep in mind, man, look, this is like, we keep this show to about 30 minutes to 45 minutes. So we're trying to keep it within that place. All right, last thing on the docket is, to me, it's kind of important because I feel like this is a really good thing for a number of reasons. And that's the XFL coming into its own. All right, with PJ Walker taken by the Panthers as their backup quarterback, presumably. Now, keep that in mind. That's the key word, presumably. We don't know what kind of role he's going to be playing. Obviously, he's going to be quarterback. Is he going to be second string, third string? They did get rid of Kyle Allen. Gave him to the Redskins for, I believe, a 5th-round pick. So presumably he's going to be playing second fiddle to Teddy Bridgewater, but we just don't know quite yet. Also probably going to get a pretty good glimpse at that during the preseason. So he might end up playing a bigger role. Heck, he might even end up being the face of the franchise after all. And there's quite a number of people being taken up by the XFL to the NFL, and I think that's really important for a couple of reasons, and let me explain. So I think that the XFL has reached almost this certifiable status as a successful franchise model for spring football. Now, I know a lot of people say that spring football wouldn't have worked out, that the XFL wouldn't have become as successful as I think that they have become, not even looking at the numbers, guys. So in an anecdotal sense, I really believe that the XFL has succeeded where they failed the last time around. And I think that was because they really took a good look at re-examining what made the XFL fail in '99, comparing it to now. And I think one of the biggest reasons that they have succeeded is that their marketing team is phenomenal, particularly within their social media team. They have really brought what people think that is missing during the springtime. Football. It's something that we enjoy during the springtime, but having something to watch during the springtime outside of NFL clips and highlights, I think that this is almost going to be some bit of a NFL G League, some type of a developmental league for people like PJ Walker, who got dismissed. He comes back in the XFL, shows that he still got it, and then he gets picked up by the Panthers for a pretty sizable deal, guys. So I think that this could be something very significant down the lines, and I'm going to say this real quick. You guys can timestamp me and all that stuff. I think that the XFL is going to end up doing a partnership with the NFL eventually down the pipeline in the not too distant future, actually. And they're probably going to partner up. There's going to be a lot of deals going on, and I think that they're going to be able to get some sponsors within the XFL. Look forward to potentially having some patches on jerseys. Yes, no, maybe so. I'm not quite sure. I'm not in the head of our WWE, their owner, so I can't say specifically for sure, but I think that they have a very good franchise model. I think that a lot more of these struggling sports teams, such as the WNBA, the NBA's G League, can really look at the XFL as a way of how to come back up, right? How to become successful within their market. So with that, guys, we're going to take a quick break. get ready for that cover story that I told you guys about. Like I said, it's all about the WNBA in a second. And I'm really looking forward to this. I'll put a little bit more of my major into this. You guys are going to find out what my major is too as well. I really enjoyed making this cover story. Really inspired me. It's something that I've been wanting to talk to you guys and just talk about in general. Let me just say thank you real quick for all of my supporters out there for bringing us so far, almost to 100 overall downloads. I know that there's podcasts out there with hundreds of thousands of downloads and podcasts that explode the minute that they get up there. But I enjoy this slow grind with you guys. I enjoy making these episodes, recording them, editing them, getting thoughts and opinions on it from you guys. I really want to say from the bottom of my heart, really love you guys. Really enjoy spending these times with you, and hope for you to stay tuned for our cover story all about the WNBA in a little bit. Hey man, it's your boy Chandra from the IDK podcast. Let me tell you something. If you're hearing this from Spotify, Apple Music, or any other podcast forum, it's because of this awesome app called Anchor. If you haven't heard of Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Okay, it's free. There's these awesome creation tools that allow me to record and edit my podcast on my phone, on my computer, wherever I'm at. And Anchor allows me to distribute my podcast so that you're hearing it everywhere. They take care of all the RSS things for me, so I don't have to go through all of that. They also help you get sponsorships. In fact, this ad right now is sponsored by them, and you don't even have to have a listening ship just to get a sponsor. It's everything you need in a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm. That's anchor.fm to get started. Alright guys, welcome back. Like I said, our cover story is going to be something a little bit about the WNBA, and I titled this a little bit strange. Alright guys, I don't have like a savior complex or nothing like that or whatever, but I did title it How to Save the WNBA. As we all know, or some of us don't know, but it's kind of obvious, the WNBA and the NBA J League struggles financially. They struggle season to season to get fans in attendance. They actually pour out a lot more money than they're getting back. And I decided, you know what, I'm a female, I enjoy basketball, I want to support these guys and what they're doing, so I'm going to write this piece about how I think they can save the WNBA. So first of all, guys, please do not flame me in the unlikely event that a WNBA player or a superstar listens to this and gets triggered on my, I would like to point out the keyword suggestions. I'm not no sexist keyboard warrior. I don't make misogynistic comments under any sports female division post that boosts my personal self-esteem, except for strength sports. I really enjoy that about the guys. If you guys are in strength sports, you know what I'm talking about, bodybuilding, strong man or strong woman and stuff like that. It's a very supportive community. Everybody comes together. Everybody enjoys everybody, whether it's the women's division or the men's division. Everybody's very supportive. There's no that divide between the men's and the women's division that you see in other sports. Within the strength sport community, everybody's pretty accepting, everybody's very welcoming. So I'd like to congratulate you guys on that. Other than that, I'm not trying to approach this whole idea of saving the WNBA with any other mindset than one of a business/marketing student, which I am. AKA, I'm looking at the WNBA as a business. And business-wise, again, the WNBA is statistically drowning in debt to its parent company, the NBA. But I'm going to be fair and say that the G League is also too, but they will probably be a segment for a different time. I'm going to be very open about my biases about this as well. So I'm going to give them out one by one before I present my suggestions on how I think the WNBA can be saved. So my first bias is that I personally never heard about the WNBA until I was about 12 or 13 years old. And I didn't watch a game until I think it was about 18, 19. Now, mind you, before you flame me again, I haven't had cable since I was about like 10. So ease on the brakes, guys. So the second bias is that I'm very pro sports equality. Personally, it really is my philosophy that all sports are great, no matter the division, who's playing who. I really think that, women should be paid equitable to men in the realm of sports, as long as revenue-wise they bring in the same or more money. And bias number 3 is that I'm a bit of an optimist, right? But I'm an optimist about changing things and setting new trends and standards. I tend to think that when people realize that things are good, they do support and buy into ideas that change things. So all in all, I do think that the WNBA is a good thing. And I think it has serious market viability that would eventually allow it to become independent, financially independent of the WNBA, of the NBA. Oh my gosh, guys, please excuse me. I think that they're going to be potentially financially independent of the NBA. The thing is that they also have a lot of things that have been done wrong over the years. If you don't think that I'm telling the truth, you guys can go on Google and look at the wiki page for the WNBA, the history of it, and look at the back end of it, not necessarily the front end and the court and stuff like that, but the back end business deals and stuff like that. Just a lot of bad business deals that they made, not only with just the players, but amongst business people themselves. So there were a lot of bad deals. If you don't trust Wikipedia, there's plenty of other sources. I did do a whole lot of digging for this, so I'm not trying to talk out of ignorance out of this one. So there's a lot of things that were definitely done wrong, and a lot of its potential in the end is eventually being wasted because, again, it has serious market viability. It can bring in some serious dollars, and it can be a very entertaining sport for sports fans. But I'm going to try to tackle some of the more major issues that it has, because it has a lot of minor issues, but also has a lot of major issues that it has that could be, killing the WNBA. In my most humblest opinions, in ways that I think that they could fix it. So I'm going to present to you guys 3 of the ways I think I can potentially save the WNBA. Number 1, I think this is probably one of the bigger issues. I think there's 2 main issues, and then this is one of them. And this is pacing. It's no secret if you've ever watched a WNBA game, it is very slow. It's dumb slow. Technically, it does have less screen time than the NBA. The NBA has 12-minute quarters, and the WNBA has 10-minute quarters. But if you're watching it on TV, it really does make a hell of a beans difference. You really can't tell the difference between the 40-minute game and the 48-minute game because it just drags on. It's a lot of passing. A lot of passing going on. And that's not a bad thing, but it's a bad thing at the same time. There's no fast breaks. They're pretty much non-existent compared to the NBA, where it's fast break, boom, dunk, score, and then turn around and there's another fast break, maybe 3 seconds from now because somebody stole the ball. I don't think I've ever really seen a fast break highlight on the WNBA. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I've ever even seen one, bro. And the amount of passing. Did I say that they pass a lot? They pass a lot before anyone takes a shot. There's some times I'm damn, take the shot, Joe. Take the shot. But they don't take the shot. They pass it to somebody else who may or may not pass it to somebody else. and they may pass it to somebody else, and then they'll take the shot. And I'm not like the only person who feels like this, so I know I wasn't crazy. I know sometimes things like can get in your perspective and be like, oh, this is just how I see it, but other people see it like this. I did a little searching, and thanks to you guys, I was able to get some responses. So I went on social media, my personal social medias, to try to eliminate some of the bias and ask people, like, what are some things that you think that is wrong with the WNBA? And they're like, there's a lot of passing. There's no fast breaks. It's very slow. It's very boring to watch. So, and I mean, don't get me wrong. If you can get past a lot of the misogynist comments that were made, even when I asked it, some people really do have some substantive ideas about how to better the WNBA. And the first one, again, like, it's increasing the pace of the game. Like, y'all got to step it up a whole lot. And it would actually not be that bad of an idea, considering how, statistically speaking, the NBA itself, the parent company, is becoming a much faster paced game compared to even 10 years ago when I was growing up. So I like the idea of promoting like those nice split-second decisions that turn into those highlight reels that could be part of their marketing campaign, right? Those are also the things that bring people to games. Those fast breaks where you see that 3-shot, maybe Curry's gonna make it, maybe not. I think that it will also spark a little bit of creativity, because to me, don't get me wrong, it don't take that much thought to pass the ball. It takes a lot more thought to, okay, look, we're down by 10. I'm going to double up on the screen. You steal the ball off the bottom of the screen. We're going to run this fast break. I'm going to get us a 3. And the great thing about this also is that if they chose to increase the pace of the WNBA, that this isn't technically like a rule like the commissioner or the GMs have to enforce. So there's no like in between time, let's slowly increase the pace of the game. Like, no, like coaches can just decide, yeah, let's increase the pace of the game. And this internal decision can actually boost the stock of the WNBA substantially. Again, I cannot reiterate it enough. So many people do not like watching the WNBA, and I actually did some research. So many talented females do not want to enter the WNBA because of, they'll say it as a lack of competitiveness, but what they're really talking about is the pacing of the WNBA. It is slower than college female games. So that's a major component right there. I also think that the second major component is not huge, but it's huge to me because I'm a fan of this, and it's dunking. I know that this is technically very a controversial issue within the WNBA, so I'm going to take the side of the money, like the positive cash flow, which is to lower the rims. I know that a lot of people would be like, oh, I have to change my shot. And I have a solution for that, actually. I thought about it. It took me about maybe 2 seconds. So I know that a lot of people don't like the idea of having the rims lowered all of a sudden because they have to change their shot. So my suggestion is, next CBA that they have, choose to lower the rims, but lower the rims incrementally. 1 year, half an inch, or whatever you decide. 1 year we're going to do an inch, half inch, quarter inch, whatever. Next year, the next quarter inch, whatever measurement you choose, until you get it down to where people can dunk. Now, let me bring it to the science, because that's where my argument really lies. My argument lies with the science. I know a lot of people also find it insulting that you think that you need dunking to make a good basketball game. Again, I point to the money. I'm on the side of the money, and the money is on the side of science. The average female vertical is actually between 16 to 20 inches. To put this in perspective, again, using that good old science, with an average wingspan, you will need about 30 inches as a man to clear in between to dunk a basketball. That's if you're a dude. So unless the WNBA intends on implementing a higher height minimum to clear and everybody's just going to be like dumb tall like Brittany Greer, please stop. Just stop with the foolishness and lower the hoop. It's not that hard. You guys like made the basketball smaller for the width of hands. I don't understand why it's such a controversial issue to lower the rims. Again, you can lower these rims incrementally for the next CBA meeting, and you can just lower the rims completely. You gotta think about it. We even give like lower rims to like smaller children because we realize that that's not realistic for them to have to shoot a full adult court hoop. So I don't quite understand why this is a major issue, but apparently it's very controversial. So that is my stance. Lower the rims, stop playing around. Again, lower them incrementally if it's that big of an issue. Of course, it would probably be a little bit more systematic change if they do lower the rims. They're going to have to lower them for the NCAA. Okay. Technically, this would actually bring out a lot more creativity. This would boost the stock of women's sports and basketball overall. I don't see the issue. I think that it's a win-win-win for everybody. When the WNBA players get to dunk, when the business as a whole has more stock value, when oh my goodness, man, I can't believe, so just lower the rims. The third issue that the WNBA has is the marketing. Again, I didn't know about like the WNBA until I was about 13. Didn't watch a game until I was like 18, 19. And I'm still like, I haven't chose like a favorite team. So by the way, guys, so this is going to be like our participation, the continuation of the discussion kind of thing. On Twitter, give me your favorite WNBA team and why that should be my team. Because like I said, I really don't have a team yet. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little embarrassing. I'm still trying to memorize all the teams before I pick one. So give me your favorite team, why I should like them. Also, shoot me some links to some highlights of that team so I can really make a good decision right there. I'm not trying to pick no bum team, you feel me? But you gotta put this into perspective. So I really didn't know about the WNBA until I was about 13, but I've watched plenty of female high school and college games before I was even introduced to the WNBA. And it was definitely before I even saw anything of the WNBA. And I think that this is the product of a lack of a presentation of a product. Almost as if the marketing team doesn't see any value within the WNBA to market to people who like sports. So they don't really present a product. And from what I can tell outside of that, their current approach is that they're going to be leaning heavily on the NBA as a parent company for the WNBA to do things. That doesn't work though. And here's why. The NBA really doesn't need to market itself because it is the NBA. It has achieved global brand recognition. Anybody sees that Jerry West logo and they can tell you that that's the NBA. From Hong Kong, China to here. where I live in the United States. Yeah, unless you have been living under a rock, everybody can recognize that Jerry West logo and everybody knows what that means. It's the NBA. However, the WNBA has not achieved that global brand recognition. So, I mean, hypothetically speaking, if the NBA never put another ad on different networks and only advertised internally through their apps and social media about games, people will more than likely find out about those games and still watch those games. Again, I've never really seen though an ad for the WNBA, and I live in Maryland, which means that the Mystics should be busting my email box with a bunch of emails about highlights from the last Mystics game. I mean, hey, I'm just saying, bro. Like, the marketing is extremely poor, and I know that I think that back in 2015, they put together a commission to decide one of the things that's being the issues for the WNBA. So, forward this to them, that commission. Let them know that their marketing campaign is non-existent and it sucks. They need to get. Let me actually shoot them a couple of suggestions because I actually did a case study one time for the WNBA. In my case study, I said that the WNBA could encourage their LGBT players to become spokespersons for organizations, do ads and stuff like that to try to market the WNBA to the LGBTQ demographic. They could also do appearances on usual sports network shows and stuff like that just to bring out a lot more visibility of the players and putting forward that yes, they're part of the WNBA. You want them to know that they are professional players for the WNBA. That's all you got to do, bro. I also suggested that teams that are affiliated with NBA counterparts can do doubleheader games where the women play maybe an hour or two before the men play and make a doubleheader on the tickets. So you get to watch two games for one. So that'll increase your fan base and actually you split the profits pretty quick like that. So again, increasing visibility on talk shows and stuff like that to market to where sports people are. Getting a little bit of ad space on television, on social media. It is easier than ever these days, and it's actually relatively cheap compared to traditional marketing to market on social media. Facebook ads are pretty cheap. Snapchat ads, from what I heard, are pretty cheap. I can't verify that, but I heard that they're pretty cheap. So these were some of my suggestions, guys, about how to save the WNBA. Again, let me know on Twitter who's your favorite WNBA team, why I should like them. If the Mystics get this, send me some merch and I'll be a little bit biased. Also, guys, let me know what you think. How do you think the WNBA can remarket itself in a much better fashion than it has done? Possibly reinvent itself in order to really become the successful organization that I think it can be. Let me know on Twitter, guys. That's it for the end of the show. Thank you for sticking by. So far, so good, guys. Again, we are almost at 100 downloads. If we hit 100 downloads, guys, I will be announcing a giveaway. It'll probably be a game giveaway of some type. You guys know I'm into gaming, so you can let me know. I'll probably do a giveaway of a good game. So I'll be the one that pre-orders it for you, and it'll be mailed right to your front door. You guys let me know. Hit me up on our Twitter account. Hit me up on our Discord chat, man. And hit me up on our Facebook page. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I can't wait to see you guys next week. This is Chandra for the IDK Cast, and I'm signing out. Okay, guys, very quickly. If you guys have been paying attention to our Twitter, don't forget to follow us on our Twitter, by the way, at the IDK underscore cast, all lowercase, at IDK underscore cast. If you follow us on our Twitter, you will know that we have officially become part of Stitcher and we have become part of TuneIn Radio. So you can follow us on those platforms. if that's your preferred mode of doing things. So on TuneIn Radio, you can listen to us within your Amazon Alexa or your Google, I think it's called Google Home, or your Apple device, whatever Bluetooth speaker that you have is connected to the internet. You can follow us on there. Also on Stitcher. If you guys have never heard of Stitcher, it's one of the podcast platforms that is very popular nowadays. For good reason. They have a lot of exclusive podcasts, a lot of podcasts that only do stuff on Stitcher. I've had, I have found some pretty good ones on there, so it's something that I've been trying to do for quite some time now. I think about we've been working to do that for about a month or so. So we've officially become part of Stitcher. Guys, if you want to listen to us on Stitcher, you should know that Stitcher is free. However, they do come with ads, much like Spotify. However, if you guys take this code, and the code is all caps IDK, is our special promo code. You can listen to 1 month of Stitcher for free, ad free. So that means you get all of us, plus you get any other podcast that you guys like, whether or not you like other people's takes on sports, entertainment, movies, comedy, all types of podcasts out there. If you guys want to enjoy that for at Stitcher for 1 month free, 1 month free, you guys get to enjoy it with my special code at IDK. So remember, use our promo code, all caps IDK, and you get to listen to Stitcher for free for 1 month. And if you guys really like it, of course, stay around. It's $4.99 a month, so it's a lot less than any other subscriptions. Most of them are like $9.99 a month, so it's $4.99 a month. Um, $5, and you're helping this podcast stay on. If you help contribute with us using our code for the first month free IDK. Hopefully, you guys listening to me on Stitcher and enjoying it along with every other podcast that you guys enjoy.